Yet to remember why he's considered such a talented top laner here in Europe. And Unicorns of Love, it wouldn't be the Unicorns if they didn't have their own bit of creativity.
And not quite as special as it used to be. Kane, we're seeing it a bit more often now in the recent games. There you go. Thank you. Maokai coming in as well. Yeah, it's not going to be exciting, but it is pretty safe in that top lane matchup.
I'm still a little worried about Unicorn's ability to force fights, though, because Maokai, while his ultimate, yes, it's very big, and you can see it coming in, it's definitely a way to try and make fights happen. It's also very obvious, and you can play around it, predict it, deal with it, especially against someone like a Sivir who has that spell shield, too. So I'm a little bit concerned of how Unicorns are going to find ways to force fights later on. And H2K ran things out with the Braum that we were just talking about. So I think H2K, right now, they have really strong lanes. They have loads of ways to start fights. And they're scaling arguably not as strong as H2K in the very late game, but they're the ones with all the tools to start the fights in their favor. So I feel like this game is very much about H2K trying to dictate the pace in the early to mid game, whereas the Unicorns, they can look to be a little bit aggressive in the early game with the Kane. But aside from that, they're going to have to...
A lot of time just to make it over to this blue buff, just to hope not to get 3-buffed in this exchange. But Xerxes headed there as well. But for H2K, Febiven definitely has pressure in the mid lane. So it may just be the 1v1 in the jungle. Blast Cone not going to work.
No flash,
committing,
no flash.
Wants to go forward. First blood! Down, but Unicorns of Love have been successful, and Jankos has just been getting better and better over the course of playoffs and the gauntlet. We'll see if the rinse and repeat is going to be the right strategy. The flag and drag played back under the tower. Che hooked up. A lot of damage drops. It's going to get the reset on the rocket jump. Samix can move forward, can push for more if he wants to. Kane is on the way, baby. Looking for that transformation nice and early, because that's the double. Dropping for Samix.
H2K tried once again to gank this Tristana Thresh lane. They have so much mobility available to them. As long as Hylissang plays on the back, you have the Lantern, you then have the rocket jump from Samix. H2K commit too hard, they get dragged
from them. Now we have to see. This game's going to have a lot different numbers. The gold lead definitely going to be consistently in the favor of Unicorns, but that could change right here. Exile is going to get knocked up and knocked back. Flash out, perfect timing on the Cataclysm. H2K want to get something. At least they got a flash.
So, the Unicorns in that whole setup, oh, they're actually going to be Jankos.
For Jankos, Kane just going to go over the wall, move in, easy, not even going to need the Umbral Trespass. Quick kill pickup.
And H2K, they thought the Unicorns of Love had backed off. Exile used all of his summoners. Odo Omni even TP'd in. But they go for the return gank. They knew they had full vision throughout the river. They saw Jankos out. And look at the level difference between those two junglers, Dracos.
2.7k gold lead. 67 CS in the jungle to 24 Vedius. 1-0-1. This man is going to have 12-minute roster.
2v2 just holds their own bot. And instead, just poor decision-making attitude from Jankos has allowed Unicorns to get to this point. Now they're utilizing the TP.
Forward play backwards, only going to connect on one. Xerxes is a little bit hungry for blood here, waiting on that knockup, holding that cooldown. Just going to be the tower in their sights. Unicorns love playing with a bit of patience. H2K will get a kill back on the Hylissang. Febiven now pressuring in the mid. Odoamne is going to do the same in the top, but if H2K can't get towers, it's not going to mean a whole lot.
But H2K, yes, they couldn't follow up with the TP, but they're actually in a really good position to answer with 2 towers, just as you were saying, Dracos, because UOL, they only got 1 kill down the bottom lane. They will get the first tower, but H2K even traded that kill back. So think of all the farm and experience that H2K, because you sent Febiven up there to try and set up a gank. Hook lands.
Double stun. Hook's still going to connect. That's the knockup. Chain CC moving forward. Umbral Trespass is available. Hylissang not quite so safe, but I don't think he's going to get the chance. Febiven is in trouble and taken out. His Exile picks up that kill.
And this is why we were saying they should have backed away, because Odo, showing his face up top lane, along with the other members of H2K, UOL had full knowledge of where they could move in the map. They immediately
did 15 minutes, down 1.1k in the early game on an individual member. Now the hook's just landing left and right, though. Hylissang wants to keep the ball rolling. The chain CC coming in from the Thresh and the Ross. That's going to be the knockup moving forward. Umbral Trespass. Jankos tries to get out. He's not going anywhere.
The Unicorns of Love, they are just continuing to snowball this early game. It doesn't matter if their composition isn't ideal for H2K. It's reliant on trying to force picks.
Exile uses the ultimate. Still knocked up in the Cataclysm. Lantern is there. Is going to take it out.
But it's really hard to get picks onto the Unicorns of Love. especially when they're so split up.
Yeah, but not quite as hard to pick off members of H2K. Odo's going to run for his life. He's going to get deleted. Xerxes does so much damage to the tankier members of the team. 2K trying the fancy footwork, trying to sneak their way out, but they are spotted by the ward. Xerxes looking for the 1v1, knows that he can leap in on the Syndra. Easy knock-up, going to move forward. Has Umbral Trespass. The ult is not going to be effective from Febivin. Febivin knows it. Going to have to accept his demise. Quick dodge on that, just like a death mark, baby. Makes his way out. That's the double kill coming in as well. Aggression on the top side coming in from the Unicorns of Love. Kitty Cat's backing them up. Odoamne now running for his life, but there is little hope left for this Crocodile. He is getting torn to shreds. And at 20 minutes, Unicorns of Love ace H2K.
And now they're on their way to take the Baron, and this is the key difference that we were going to just talk about between H2K Fnatic and UOL H2K. UOL do not wait for that perfect play. They see a small opportunity and they just go for it. Xerxes finding a pick onto Febivin around the middle lane. Unicorns sending 2 members versus 3 up. There really isn't much you can say left for H2K. They're going to need some big mistake from UOL, but Xerxes, he's 1v3 right now.
Moving forward, looking for a little bit more. Febivin going to get knocked up and taken down. Odoamne is running for his life, and Xerxes is playing like a man possessed. Unicorns of Love may just look to close this out. Nuclear's doing what he can to get back some advantage.
Something. Hey! But he's losing his base in the meantime.
And right now, if you're H2K, you better be ready for Game 2, because Game 1 is done and dusted. Unicorns of Love, one of the most dominant performances we've seen from them in their history in the LCS. 17-3 the kill score. One final dance here in the mid lane, but Vizichachi's just having fun with it, and that's Game 1 for Unicorns of Love.
Wow. I don't think anyone was expecting that, Dragos.
Insane invade level 1, right as I say it, nothing's going to happen. Amazing counter jungling across the entire game for Xerxes. Hugely confident engages coming in from Exile to find solo kills.